So, hey guys, today we're going to be building a deck around Nekomane King, Nekomane King, Nekomane King. Well, whatever it is, however you pronounce it. Well, the main thing that I was thinking, like, just if we're going to do it the coolest way possible, what would be the coolest way we could trigger Nekomane King? So, the fact is as follows: during your opponent's turn, when this card in your possession is sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card effect, it becomes the end phase of this turn. So initially, I was thinking of actually doing this with Rosin. So the idea would have been to use Mind Castlin. So I would need to use some form of quick synchro, get Mind Castlin off the field, and then I would like chain one, Rosin, chain two, Mind Castlin. But this has two different problems, so we'll just go over them. So the first one was, of course, the chain link order is impossible because um, this effect right here to switch is a trigger, and then the effect for Rosin to pop is a quick effect. So the only chain link order possible would be chain link 1, Mind Castlin, chain link 2, Vanquish Soul Rosin. So yeah, it's not going to work. Then the other thing, I guess, is that, well, technically, who activated Rosin here? Because the wording on this says specifically by an opponent's artifact. So if you think about it, technically Rosin is our opponent's card, but the card effect that was activated was our Rosin, if that makes sense. So technically our opponent, if they did for some reason decide to, after like I give them Rosin to pop the Nekomane King by revealing Fire and Dark, that would be considered our opponent's card effect. But this whole plan was kind of flawed from the start, so we'll need something else. So the main thing that I am going to struggle with here is that we need a way to remove Nekomane King via its effect. So let's figure out how to do this. I mean, the obvious one that a lot of you guys have been saying is oh wait, not Grapha, Grapha. So we have Grapha, Dragon Overlord of Dark World. So this guy has the effect of converting your opponent's card effect to sending one of your cards. So I guess we could make this with Muddy Mud Dragon, but honestly, this isn't even that difficult. It's just kind of lame, so we're not going to do it this way. But yeah, so if our opponent activates any of the listed cards effects on Grapha here, or maybe we can force them to do an effect, then we can send Nekomane King with the effect of Grapha, but technically it's our opponent's card effect to then send the Nekomane King, and then their turn will be skipped. So that's the thing. So I just have to look for right now, just whatever I can force my opponent to activate. So this cannot be normal summon / set, must be special summoned by the following effect. If this card is special summoned, destroy all other cards in this card's column. So the thing about Tiamaton is that this would meet the requirements, except I can't special summon it to my opponent's field. Unfortunate. We need something similar to Tiamaton. Main thing here is Tiamaton has a forced destroy effect, where if it's special summoned, it's mandatory just to destroy all cards in this card's column. So idea would be to force special summon Tiamaton and then have it pop our Nekomane King. So that is unfortunately not possible because it must be special summoned by the following effect. It's not first special summon, so we can't special summon Tiamaton, put it in the graveyard, and then like kind of loop it back that way. So that's not going to work. So is there another mandatory kind of destroy effect? Well, actually, yeah, this could work. We could use like Tiger King, right? King Tiger Wanghu, and then we have Nekomane King. Well, I'm not 100% sure on the ruling on this, but I think this should work. It's just Wanghu is like kind of hard to get here. So we would, well, ideally, we would need another card similar to Wanghu, but I don't want Wanghu exactly. Because Wanghu is kind of bad for this, actually. it is a mandatory effect, and we can give this to our opponent, right? Well, actually, I see it. I figured it out. All right. So first things first is, well, we only need Wang Hu and Nekomane King, which I think is fairly doable. So we'll only need one copy of each because we'll be able to kind of like search them, foolish them, whatever. So the way we're going to do this is, well, first we need a way to grab Nekomane King. So either we can search it, we can add it to the hand, or whatever. But I think the best way is probably to use Kit. So we have Tri-Brigade Kit, which has the effect of, let's see, if this card is sent to the graveyard, we can then grab, actually, does this even work? This has to foolish a Tri-Brigade, right? Maybe that doesn't work the way I want to. We have Fractal Effect then, which this is actually a little bit better. Send this, and then you can send one level 3 or lower Beast, Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast monster from your deck to the graveyard. So this is actually too high level for Fractal. So I think we're mainly getting stuck on King Tiger Wang Hu here. Aside from this, is there something really dumb we could do to get access to both of these guys? Well, actually, we could still do it. It's just with some weird cards here. So Shreg has this effect, right? Where if this card is sent to the graveyard at all, you can add any Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster from your deck to your hand. So that's fine. It just needs to, let's see, whose level is less than or equal to the number of your Vanished Beast, Beast Warrior, and Winged Beast monsters. Yeah, that should be fine. So I don't know if we necessarily need Kit, we'll see. So the idea here, well, I think there's like a few other ways we could maybe search this, but we use Melfi. We can search this also, right? So you have idea of using Melfi of the Forest, and then Melfi of the Forest. Oh, wrong card. Melfi of the Forest can search a Melfi card, and then this gets summoned during the end phase. And then you can tag out into, which one was it? It was maybe Puppy? Nope. Caddy? Add one beast monster from your deck to your hand. This is a beast, this is also a beast. This has a hard once per turn though. If your opponent normal or special summons a monster. It's possible to force your opponent to do this, but yeah, that requires Black Garden. I can't think of another way to force our opponent to special summon a monster. That's like rough, but okay. One way we could do that is this, but I don't really like this way for how we're going to do this. Real quick, check Shreg effect. We require Beast, Beast Warrior, and or Wing Beast monsters. Okay, so I think the best way to start this combo off will be with Snake Eye, so we can Snake Eye whatever grabs like these guys. Okay, so let's go through, I guess, the theoretical line here. I don't know if we need Promethean Princess, so I'll just throw it in so I don't have to grab it later. If we don't, edible, I guess. So, idea is to go start with, I don't know, whatever is relevant, I guess. There's quite a few ways we can start this. Like, we can start it with Diabel Star, right? We can start it with the Azumina card, so we can go like, Deception or Hallowed, and then this grabs us Murusilago, and then we can convert this into Ilia Sylvia later. And that'll just get us places, I guess. But for the most part, we're going to use the Snake Eye cards, so we're going to go like, well, we'll start with Snake Eye Ash, I guess. Normal Summon Ash, grab Poplar, link off Poplar, go into like maybe Flamberge, I guess. And then Well, does Oak get us an additional body? Only if you send a back row card, I think, right? But yeah, we'll go original sinful. Probably to send Flamberge, I'm thinking is fine. Didn't really matter that much. We could also send Poplar in the back row as well. That would be fine. And then I guess this could be an okay extender maybe. I don't know if we'll need it or not, but I'll throw it in just in case. But yeah. We're going to use this and this. We're going to use all these guys, so Flamberge special summons back two guys. So they'll be like Oak Ash, I think, that type of deal. And then we'll be able to go into like Yummy. So the exact line's kind of messy, hard to visualize because Snake Eye's actually a little bit rough for me to visualize, honestly, but let's see. Link this off for Link Remo. Send this plus this. Oak summons Ash. Does that do anything? Does that get us an additional body anywhere? No, not really. So we would probably then go like Snake Eye, Ash. Well, actually, we're playing some of these cards. We might be able to send them. Notably, the Deception here, we might be able to send. Well, whatever the case, we'll be able to get into Yummy either way. So we'll go into then a Cupsy Yummy way. And if we additionally have the Jet Synchron, that could be helpful as well. What are the wordings on this exactly? Okay. Just special summon these guys, right? Marshmallow Yummy. Okay. So we just summon these guys, I guess. And these guys are all beasts, which is convenient. Because we'll be wanting to make Shrig. So the exact combo line, I haven't fully mapped it out yet. But the idea is going to be to essentially summon Shrig, and then we're going to link off Shrig, and then they'll be able to add us whichever one. So King Tiger or Nekomani King, and then we're going to use Flamberge effect. And then this is going to place Shrig in the back row again. But then during the next turn, we'll be able to use Shrig again. So we have ideas of like Flamberge special summoning Shrig, and then we could potentially like, I'm thinking maybe IP off the Shrig, maybe? Or we can get it off the field in some other way. I'm not like super partial to how we do it, but that's how we're going to search both the Nekomani King and King Tiger Wenhu, right? And then to end our turn, we're going to be utilizing a few bricks here, which I think is fairly okay. So we're going to go Verte for Branded Fusion. And then, I mean, I'm not 100% sure if this line actually works or not, but Branded Fusion, Fallen of Elbaz. We're going to send both, right? And then we'll be able to send for Albion to special summon Albion, right? What does this require? Any light spellcaster monster? So I don't know, we can just run effect failure for that, and it's like fine. We can run like Elmrush or something. That doesn't super matter, right? So we will to do this combo, we will need to open some Snake Eye access, but I mean with Deception, Diabell Star, and like the actual Snake Eye cards should be like consistent enough, I think. We could, if we started with Deception, we can send Muru Silago or like the original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye, and then grab like Ilya Sylvia after that, which isn't too bad. I mean, it kind of depends on the exact hand, I guess. But yeah, that's the idea, I guess. I guess we would probably convert to SB. SB makes sense. I don't know what like monster we would make 100% here. I lost on that, but that's the general idea, right? So we're going to use the yummy guys to spam out bodies, basically. And I guess we could even send Mignon. Yeah, we could send Mignon. Or, like, Oak effect to summon Flamberge or something like that. That's okay, I guess. And we can bring back Flamberge whenever by making Promethean Princess, which is completely generic to make. So that's not a problem at all. You can Sprite Elf to bring things back as well. If we want to make Sprite Elf, we have ideas of that. So the main thing, the crux of this, like, I'm pretty sure that you'll have enough material to do the dumb stuff like Shrek, right? The main thing I am worried about now is mostly going to be, well, can we actually do this? Like, will King Tiger Wanghu actually destroy the Necomonic King here? I think it will, even if they're summoned like simultaneously. I'm not like 110% sure, but I'm like fairly confident this will work, and this is probably the most interesting way I could think of doing this, because just getting rid of Necomonic King is kind of annoying. Other follow-up ideas I had, I think it was like Durandal. This might be doable. Yeah. So we can do most of the same things here, but we fit in a artifact Durandal into our combo line. So whenever our opponent does one of these listed effects, so if they activate a quick play, believe it or not, we can't chain this, but if they activate a normal spell or trap card effect, or a monster effect, it has to be activated on the field specifically, which is kind of annoying. So in hand effects, we can't really do much about that. But if they do activate anything that meets the condition for Durandal, I guess we could force them to activate something by giving them something and forcing it to activate. But yeah, destroy one spell trap your opponent controls. So we just make sure the only spell trap we control in this case will be a Necomonic King in the back row, which we could do with something like a Flamberge or something else that can place this in the back row. Poplar is only fires, right? Yeah. So we just place Necomonic King in the back row, it gets popped, and this changes an effect, right? So pop Necomonic King, end turn. This one I know will definitely work, but the setup to making Threendel I think is arguably a little bit more dumb to an extent, and we still do need to get Necomonic King. A way we can get access to Necomonic King so we can send this to the graveyard is, well, of course, Fractal or Shreg. But how we get to Fractal is this. So we have level 1 monsters. We can use this Lyrilisk XYZ here to add a Wing Beast monster from our deck to our hand. So the one we want to add will be Nerval. And then Nerval has the effect here to add any Tri-Brigade monster from your deck to your hand, so that we can add simply Fractal, right? So we can go Fractal effect to then send any level 3 or lower Beast, Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast monster. So in this case, we could send Necomonic King, put this in our back row with Lamberge, and that works. Or well, if you want to use this tag, I guess Muddy Dragon can work to make I think this is probably one of the most consistent ways, but you can use this guy to just substitute Grapha and just make the fusion Grapha, and that's one way you could get to Grapha if you want to do it that way. There was one other thing though, right? Yeah, let's see. I think Fiendsmith might have been able to do something with this. We'll see. Just gotta check these cards. Let's see. Fusion summon by shuffling its materials from your graveyard into the deck. Ooh, yeah, this works. So you could use Fiendsmith to make Fusion Grapha. The hand you would need is like a little bit specific, and you would need to, I think, perform 2 fusion summons, but I mean, I guess it works, right? If it works, it works. Or I guess you could send something to kind of fusion substitute for the Dark Greppa as well here. But idea is to make Aerial Eater and then send Greppa, which is a fiend, and then the Fusion Greppa is going to also be a fiend, so you should be able to just shuffle back the material to make it, and then that's relatively easy. Well, somewhat, right? Let's see. Fiendsmith in Paradise Effect. If you're fun, send one Fiendsmith monster for your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. That's not the right one. I think it's Kyrie, right? Banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon, Fiendsmith fusion. So this is only Fiendsmith. Okay. So you need to specifically resolve Tract and Sequence to be able to do like Aerial Eater Send and all that. Which is not like the worst thing in the world, but probably not very high up on my to-do list here, I'd say. I guess interestingly enough, we could do something like maybe Muddy Mud Dragon to make Dragoon with like a dragon, I guess, and then we could use it again in the graveyard because we'll probably have a dark monster alongside this to make Grapha afterwards. That's an idea, I guess. Well, normally I go through the combo lines more, but yeah, I think we just have enough materials because, yeah, I mean, Yummy kind of dumb, right? So let's go through a little bit of Yummy line to see how far we can actually get with this. So, Upsy Yummy Way, we just summon this, and then that gives us 2 bodies, and then we could discard, like, I don't know, it could be anything from our hand. Like, let's say we discard, I don't know, Yummy Surprise from hand, yeah, Bellstar from hand, just whatever card, and then we can special summon 2 Yummy monsters, putting us at, like, link 3 worth of material, more or less. And then we link off one of them for Yummy Snatchy. Snatchy effect grabs us a copy of Mignon. And then we have effect of Mignon to reborn a Yummy monster, which we probably would have sent for this, right? Then that reborn, so we're at 4 monsters worth of link material, so that's Trig at this point. But instead of making Trig immediately, we can go make Lolipo Yummy Way, which has no lock for some reason. So if we make this, that gives us +2 from where we're at, right? I believe. Wait, let's see. 2 or 5. 5 materials? So we have 5 monsters after resolving Yummy Way. So we can probably just do whatever we want. Like, if we have to go into Fiendsmith to get more bodies, I wouldn't be bad against that. But yeah, we just basically do some link summoning, right? That's the basic idea here. So go into Shreg, that takes 4 guys, and then we can go into Promethean Princess afterwards, right? Yeah. And that works. Enough, because we still have bodies from, like, Snake Eye, technically, I believe. We should have maybe 1 or 2 additional bodies. I'm not 100% sure how many, but we should have enough guys to kind of do this. And then we need, like, to make Verte, I guess. So for this extra deck in particular, I guess maybe we would throw in, I don't know, it doesn't really matter too much what we're linking off the Promethean Princess into. It's just that we want to make Verte afterwards, so we need a fire monster we can link off. Not really a super big deal, but we're not playing any of these guys, so we still have like a moderate amount of like extra deck space anyways. I don't know, Ambler Whale's just always somewhat decent, so you could make this, I guess, and then maybe throw in like Spread Elf and a few other things, I suppose. Oh, right, I forgot. You get 1 more body because you can search Yummy Surprise, right? And then that's like a reborn as well, so we have an additional monster worth of like link material, I suppose. Kinda disgusting, but it is what it is. So yeah, the main crux is if Wang Hu and Nakamani can interact the way I think they do. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.